evening, everyone. My name is Ken Mejia Beal. I'm the chair of the Democratic Party of DuPage County. And thank you for joining us for a new edition of Chair Chat. Tonight, we have a very special guest, Senator Suzy Glowiak Hilton, who's joining us. Thank you for joining us this evening, Senator. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Well, I'm happy that you are here, and we're going to jump right in. If you can you tell us a little bit about your background and why you decided to run for this position when you did?
Sure, be happy to.
Thank you.
So my background is in science, engineering. I have a degree in mechanical engineering and a master's degree in manufacturing engineering. I'm very data-driven and I do a lot of analysis in my work. I am still currently working kind of as a consultant part-time, but I ran for office to be a trustee in Western Springs. And so my first brush with being an elected official was in my town where I live. And I learned about critical things like water plants and law enforcement services and all about budgeting and how a village works. And it was really fascinating, and I found that it was certainly very fulfilling and enjoyed the work. And when it was there was a Senate seat that was open, I thought that I would take a chance and run for it. And I'm really glad that I did. The person that was running for office, I didn't want that person to be my senator. And so I found it really very motivating. Like now, I don't want the person running against me to be my senator. And it keeps me going every day. I want to do good things for my constituents. I'm very interested in public service. That's always been part of my life. And I want to give back. As an engineer, I look at things a little bit differently, I think. Engineers think sort of in an organized way, and that's how I approach the bills that I write and the bills that I analyze when I am proposing legislation. So my background is in engineering. I've got 3 children. I lived in Western Springs for probably about 30 years now, and have enjoyed, living in the town and having my family grow up here. I was pretty much a part-time worker always when my kids were little, and I was home with them and helped them to grow into the adults that they've become. So that's been my background so far.
Well, thank you for sharing that, but I do want to circle back to something you mentioned. You mentioned that you wanted to do good work, and I think you have, but can you tell me a couple of your proudest accomplishments, bills that you've passed in Springfield since you have been Senator?
Sure, thanks. One of the most important things that we need to do and continue to do is to make sure that we preserve a woman's right to choose what happens with her body. I don't think that a legislator should be making that decision. That should be between the patient and her doctor. And so I voted to protect a woman's right to choose, even if the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade a few years back. And there were a lot of naysayers who said, oh, that will never happen. Roe v. Wade, has been around for all these years. Nothing's changing. Why are you bothering to do this now? Well, we bothered to do it because we were very concerned that if things changed, and we kind of saw some of the handwriting on the wall, concerned if some things changed, that we wanted to make certain that in Illinois that we were providing that ability for women to make that choice. So that's one of the most important things that I think that we've accomplished while I've been in office. And this past term, I worked on passing, I was the chief sponsor of a bill that is a new law that deters organized retail crime. So the smash and grabs that have occurred in my district in Oak Brook, as well as, the Michigan Avenue mag mile kind of smash and grabs, was a bill that goes after the big fish, the kingpin, not somebody who steals. Still a crime to steal things, but when it's organized, it's a little bit of a different crime now. It can be prosecuted more easily because there really wasn't a law in place that would go after the person who is making those decisions, the kingpin. And so that really targeted going after the organized part of the retail crime that's happening in my district, as well as all across the state, all across the country right now. I worked with the Attorney General's office and the retail merchants on that, and we passed a very robust, very thorough law that I'm very proud of. And so those are some, just a couple of accomplishments that I've been able to do and very proud of in the last couple of years.
Thank you for kind of going into the smash and grab. A lot of folks might not know exactly what the smash and grab is. Do you mind elaborating a little bit on smash and grab? And when you say targeting the kingpin of this, could you elaborate on that just a little bit for me, please?
Sure. A smash and grab is when a group of people rush into a retail store and steal as much merchandise as they can in a short period of time, stuff it in backpacks or suitcases or something, and run out with the goods. And this is something that we have the Attorney General's office identified as an organized approach to retail theft. And so it is defined in the legislation, in the bill that passed, so that it could be easily explained to prosecutors to be able to use it. Another thing that the bill does is it allows the prosecution to go county by county. So if something is stolen in Cook County and is resold in DuPage County, then either the Cook or the DuPage prosecutor could go after the criminals, so that it takes some of that prosecutorial discretion away and gives it more teeth to allow prosecutors to be able to go after the people who are making these big retail crime. The organized part is when it's organized by one person who is basically giving a list to a group to go steal things. And what the bill also does is it looks at the people that are reselling this merchandise and also goes after the resellers. If you sell over a certain dollar value on the internet, you have to explain who you are, what your address is, where your bank is, and all those things, so that you don't have a smash and grab where people are stealing things and then putting them on the Facebook immediately and selling things. So there are lots of great parts to that bill that really deter that specific kind of crime. And that was our goal, to do that.
Mission accomplished. A little bit before we started our chat, you mentioned that you were canvassing, which I think is the best way to contact voters.
Yes.
What are you hearing from our voters at the door? What is the feedback that you're getting? Besides the fact that they're excited to actually see their legislator at their front door.
That actually happened today. It was really nice to knock a door and have a man really be delighted to see their state senator. They were really like, wow, you came to my door. And sometimes we'll call people and then I show up at the door. So it's like, you called me and now you're at my house. And this is, kind of amazing. So, I knocked about 400 doors last week. So I am in the mode of knocking. And it's good what I'm hearing is people are concerned about a couple things. They're concerned about the woman's right to choose. That's one of the top issues that folks talk to me about. They're surprised that Roe was overturned, that the Dobbs decision happened, and they're concerned about the next, what's going to happen next? Will it be contraception will be on the menu? You know, what is, there's a concern of the Supreme Court going further and going through all of the issues that hinged on that decision, which is basically the right of privacy, which is concerning because we really don't want to go back. We have worked so hard to provide really strong protections and rights for everybody, and we sure don't want to go back there. So so I'm hearing about that at the doors. I'm hearing about good gun, common sense gun safety laws. What can we do to get, you know, the guns out of the hands of the people that shouldn't have them? So those are two of the top things that I'm hearing at the doors, that people are worried about guns, you know, kind of gun violence, as well as a woman's right to choose.
And if I can just add, when we talk about gun violence, I think it's important to remember that included in that gun violence are suicides and mental health awareness, which is something you've been really, really a champion for. And as someone that values mental health, I would be remiss if I don't highlight that portion of some of the work that you've done, and that is greatly appreciated here in DuPage, because it all ties together. So very important to add that. When you get back to Springfield, what are some of the things, what's on your to-do list?
Well, I worked on a bill where, because I'm an engineer, I really like manufacturing and I support manufacturing. Manufacturing is terrific for this country, great for Illinois, and it provides wonderful jobs and opportunities. We have everything we need here in Illinois. We're a great resource for manufacturers. We have good source of water, which, you know, the Southwest doesn't have. We have an amazing electrical grid that is efficient and reliable, which the South doesn't always have. And we have really talented, trained labor force, and really talented and great schools, U of I and other, you know, institutions that provide folks who can do manufacturing, who are scientific and engineers and really great people who can work on manufacturing. So because I passed a bill having to do with really incentivizing chip manufacturers. So we have a chip shortage. And I'm interested in bringing chip manufacturing back to the United States. It's critical from a safety perspective and reliability, security perspective, because these chips are in everything. These microchips are in all kinds of electronic equipment, and in transportation, it's in every vehicle. I mean, cars have 100 chips in them, and we have, wow. It's not just one, it's a lot of chips, and we have quite a few pieces of equipment that are sitting on the lots. I was at the John Deere factory about 2 weeks ago, and they cannot finish their products, all of them, because they don't have the chips they need. So the bill that I did incentivizes a manufacturer to come to Illinois, which has all those great resources, and to manufacture those chips right here. The chips also go into like missiles and things. And most of the chips, we make 12% of the chips. Most of the chips are made in China. And we need to make them here, especially in Illinois. We've certainly paved the way for a manufacturer of microchips, semiconductor materials, to really be able to do well here and be supported. So that is something I would really like to work on, since I have the bill that I have passed to actually bring a manufacturer in. Manufacturing facilities are about $20 billion. One factory that is built to make chips. So it would be great, you know, jobs for people to construct the manufacturing plant, as well as to be able to work in the facility itself. So I'm hoping to be able to do some of those things, because those are things I really enjoy doing.
Well, we want to see you back down there, and we want you to continue the great work you've been doing. Where and how can folks help you, volunteer, donate? How can we make this happen for you?
Well, that's a great question. There's so many ways to get involved in a campaign, and so many people I know have already helped me out, and I appreciate, everything that everybody's done. But there are ways. One of the ways we can do is we have Canvas launches every week. So if you want to come and help Canvas, we can train you on how to do it, how to knock doors. It's really, that is very fulfilling, to be able to talk to voters. And we give you, doors of friendly people to knock. But we do that like Saturdays and Sundays. So contact us. We have phone banking on Tuesdays and Thursdays. You could either go to suzyforsenate.com or email my campaign manager, Andrew, at suzyforsenate.com, and he can set you up with whatever it is that you would like to do, because we have opportunities. If somebody can't walk or doesn't want to use the phone, we're sending lots of letters to folks, individual people, and there's always that letter mail stuffing that needs to be done as well. So there are all kinds of opportunities to get involved. I would really appreciate any help. Always help on the doors is greatly appreciated. And if somebody wants to walk with me, I'd love to walk with whoever wants to walk with me and meet voters at the doors.
I would love to take you up on that offer one day soon, hopefully. And my last question of the night is always a bit of a fun question. Okay. So my last question for you might remember this. I think it was about a year ago. We had a very delicious organic dinner in Hinsdale, I believe, with the delicious sweet potatoes and arugula salad. It was amazing, very healthy. So my question for you is, if you could have, what is your favorite unhealthy dinner? Your favorite?
Probably like pizza. I get some people think pizza is healthy, but
no, it's not. It's not.
I don't eat pizza almost ever, so I think that would be.
And what kind of pizza are we talking?
Oh, probably deep dish, vegetables.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, deep dish veggie pizza. That is going to be our unhealthy meal for the evening. I do want to thank you, Senator, for joining Chair Chat tonight. It's been a pleasure talking to you. And guys, we got to get out and we have to knock these doors, because it's crucial to send Senator Glowiak Hilton back to Springfield to champion for you and I. We need more champions down in Springfield. So get out, knock those doors, do the phone banking, stuff the envelopes. Thank you for joining, and have a wonderful evening.
Thank you, Ken. Great to see you all. Really appreciate your time.
No problem.